Hey, this is Wileen Benson, and you are on the Daily Gratitude Call, where we start every day in gratitude. Gratitude is the highest energy state that we can be in. It creates a frequency of positive vibration that attracts positive experiences into our lives.
Hey everybody, this is Wileen Benson. This is our Daily Gratitude Call. Happy New Year's Day. Appreciate those who are on the call today. We have a few stalwart people that are, I don't know if you were partying late last night. I went to bed about, 1:30, something like that, so not too late, but it was a little bit harder to get up this morning. So I appreciate everybody who made the effort to get up, be on the call this morning, and I promise it's going to be worth it. I have no idea what is going to be created on this call today, other than the subject that we're going to focus on, and that is gratitude for firm commitment. And I'm not going to give any further instruction. I've got some things I want to share, but I'm going to wait until after we do our private meditation. So I'm going to set the timer for 90 seconds, and we're going to have a 90-second private silent meditation on gratitude for firm commitment, and we'll see what comes up. So 90 seconds, gratitude for firm commitment, just writing down your personal inspiration on that subject. Begin. All right. I guess I had my phone on Do Not Disturb because the alarm didn't go off, but we went just a little bit past. I am super grateful for my daily GPS. I got some really awesome new insight this morning about making decisions. There's a difference between making a choice and making a decision. Decide means you cut off. Size means cut. D means like out, like you cut out. You actually cut off or cut out any other choice. And for me, that's what firm commitment was really meaning for me this morning. It's so interesting. I love how our daily gratitude calls lead one step into the next, because yesterday my new belief was I am moldable matter. I had several new beliefs that supported the idea of this flow and easy change and all of that. This morning, that inspiration yesterday led to this morning having some new insight into making a decision on something, that you can be flowy for a while until you know what you want. And then once you are certain about what needs to happen, what is in alignment with you, with me, I'm going to turn that back on myself. When I know what's in alignment with me, it serves me to make a decision on that and to say, you know what, I'm not going back. This is who I am from this point forward. And the analogy came to me of clay is pretty worthless if it's just sitting in the ground. But if you take clay out of the ground and you mold it into something like a pot or whatever, and then even if you just leave it like that, it is still moldable. It's still pretty worthless. What you have to do to make that useful is to form it into a solid something vessel that can be utilized, and then fire it and glaze it so that it's waterproof, so that water can't even change it, that it's going to be there for, in that shape forever, basically, unless it gets broken into something else, I guess. But being moldable is good for a time, and then at some point, to be useful, I have to make a decision on what shape I want to be in. And I thought of the scripture that talks about being lukewarm, and how God doesn't like somebody who's just like back and forth and can't make a decision. So that was my personal inspiration for me today, and I'm open to see whatever everyone else has to share as well. What other thoughts are out there?
I was thinking in terms of my selection of stubbornness, because it sort of fits in with what you're talking about, or what we're talking about today. Right? It's like a commitment of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
It's also something like being decisive. Like I selected to be, I chose this, and I'm going to be stubborn about this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stick to my GPS. Actually, I began it, formally yesterday.
Awesome.
And I was inspired, to continue. It was just the selection. When you select a particular scripture, so it just so happens to be Daniel that I selected.
Oh, awesome.
I was totally amazed. And it's the very last scripture in Daniel. So it was like so blessed. I felt like it was a blessing, telling me to be stubborn about this, selection and this commitment that I made, and be decisive and don't give up. Just persevere.
Very
thank you.
Good. Wow, that is awesome. And how perfect is that you're talking about, being decisive, like for you to be, and for those, since I didn't say his name, the man who just shared his name is Daniel. And to open up to that scripture and have it be the last scripture in Daniel. It's like this, the current Daniel, the old Daniel, done. Being stubborn. I love that. Stubborn, commitment, decisive. There's ways that we can be stubborn that would be rebellious against our own selves or against our own nature, against what would really bring us to true happiness. Or we can also be stubborn in the other way. We can be stubborn in following through with our commitments and the new habit that you're creating of doing your daily GPS every day. And, I'm super excited for you, Daniel, for all you're going to get to learn with using that new planner. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I'll share real quick.
Okay.
What came up for me was the integrity of commitment, and aligned with purpose, aligned with on purpose, and on task. And just there were some limiting beliefs that came up with making commitments and asking other people to holding people to commitments and accountability and things like that. But that integrity of commitment and alignment, aligned with purpose, was was really coming up strongly for me.
Beautiful. That's just a really great addition to what we've already talked about, finding what it is that you want to commit to, and then, aligning with your purpose, and then having integrity in that. And I love also how you brought in asking others to make commitments. We know how hard it is if we ask somebody to make a commitment and they don't follow through. That's a mirror that I can turn back on myself and make sure that I follow through with my commitments that I've been asked to do. Thank you. Any other thoughts about firm commitment?
Hi, this is Michael.
Hey, Michael.
My first thought was it's something like having a child, and sometimes that's a forced commitment. Okay, this is going to happen because we did this. It's we commit to something because of one choice we make. Marriage is a commitment, and we fight to continue to save it. So I kind of put down choosing a path with full focus, and there's no turning back. So to finish a project, no matter how long it takes, and what you have to do to accomplish it. And when you do a firm commitment, it's amazing how you change in the process of doing it, because you learn all the things you need to do to accomplish the things that you set out to do. And that's a firm commitment, is not half-hearted, but I'm going to learn everything I can about it so that, I can do it the best of my ability. So,
thank you. We do make choices all the time that we don't know what is coming with that choice. We make the choice to have a child. We don't know what's, child could be born with a handicap that we have no idea, how to deal with at that moment. And then I love what you're saying, that, that when we choose the path and we have full focus and we're committed to following through, we figure it out, don't we? We learn in the process as we're going along. If we have that intention that this is a decision, it's going to be a successful outcome, we're not turning back, we figure it out. Thank you. Any other thoughts on firm commitment, gratitude for firm commitment? All right, let's go ahead and shift over into our permission process. This has been a really great discussion, and I'm sure it's going to be a really awesome process as we shift over into giving ourselves permission to have more firm commitment. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. And I know just in the discussion here, there have been a lot of things that have been opened up, a lot of ideas that have been opened up that some of us may not have been in firm commitment in the past. So I'm just going to start by asking, what is the limiting belief that's showing up for you about having firm commitment, about making a decision, about having yourself be made solid, being molded into something that you want, and then making a firm commitment at that point forward that you are going to be solid in that and commit and follow through. What's the limiting belief coming up for you right now about firm commitment? And as you're getting clear with that limiting belief, I also want to remind you that there is a cost that comes with each limiting belief. And so take a moment and see what the cost is of having this limiting belief. If you hold on to this limiting belief, what's the cost to your ability to commit, to follow through? finish. And now that you're becoming more aware of what this limiting belief has brought to you in the past and what will continue to bring to you, you have a choice. You can choose to keep that limiting belief and continue on your path that limiting belief will take you, or you can make a firm commitment right now in this moment to give yourself permission to choose something different. So if you're ready to choose something different, say yes.
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 Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and choose some new beliefs. What are some new beliefs? And since we are talking about new firm commitment and making decisions, make sure that these new beliefs that you're choosing, that they are something that you actually want, that they are in alignment with your highest and best self, with your purpose, with God, with the successful outcome that you choose. What are your new beliefs that you are willing to give yourself fully to give your will away and to embrace these new beliefs in place of the limiting belief that you used to have. Make firm commitment to these new beliefs. What are your new beliefs that will take the place of that old limiting belief and will empower you to have firm commitment in moving forward on a different path? And with these new beliefs, I invite you to maybe envision yourself as that the clay pot that I was talking about. That yesterday you were moldable matter, and up until this point you were moldable matter. See yourself as being shaped by the master artist and allowing yourself to be molded and formed into the beautiful creation that you are, and seeing those finishing touches being put by Christ, who is the great finisher of all. And once those finishing touches are placed on you, that you allow yourself to be put through the fire of commitment. These new beliefs are like the fire of making this you solid, firm, committed, decisive, finished. And then glazed over with the most beautiful colors and finishes that really radiate light and beauty, so that you are useful and also beautiful. And as this completed, finished masterpiece, what is your first act as this new, decisive, fully committed person who is in alignment with your purpose, with your highest and best self, with God? What is the first act that you are going to perform today? What is your inspired shortcut for creating evidence of these new beliefs, that you are solid in your commitment and decisive in your actions? What's your inspired shortcut? Right, in a moment, I'm going to open it up for some shares. We have time for several, actually. This has been an awesome meditation and an awesome mastermind today. for me. I'm going to share my new beliefs, and then I'll open it up for other shares as well. Before I do that, I just want to remind everybody that if you want to connect with me, this is a brand new year, brand new decade that you get to begin creating from. And with these new decisions that you've made today, I would love to be able to support you in maintaining that. And all you have to do is just go to AskWileen.com, and that'll take you directly to my calendar, and you can schedule a 15-minute call. It's a free call, and would love to have that conversation with you. AskWileen.com takes you to my calendar. My new beliefs are, I am solid in my decision. This decision defines me. In the past, I never would have said that. I would never want it to be defined by anything. But I'm seeing that it's sort of like, carving out the things that are no longer serving me, and maybe putting a little bit more clay where I needed some extra. And then I'm allowing myself to be defined by, who I am today. And the last one I wrote is, I'm committed. Who else would like to share just anything about your call today?
This is Phil. I'm joined in, but
joining us.
Listening along. But I'd love to share. I didn't get to do the meditation, but I have been thinking a lot about what you've been talking about.
Okay.
For me, my limiting belief was the thought of, you've done this in the past and you've failed, and so you're going to fail again. And my new belief is that I'm not who I was, and I am anew every day and get to make a new decision every day, and that a recognition that voice is not who I am either. That voice is my ego that is judging me and trying to keep me from doing something that's new. And so that's what's going on. And so I appreciate this call this morning, because it's a good wake up call for me. And it's also, as I watch myself and listen to my thoughts, it's just amazing how destructive they can be sometimes, as far as my creations and where I want to go. And so I just thought I would share that with you.
Awesome. I think this is one of those times when saying no is very powerful. Most of the time when we talk about affirmations and new beliefs, we want to keep them positive. But there are times when it is time to just draw the line and say, that is done. This is who I am now. And I love what you're saying, that I'm not the same person that I was yesterday. I'm a new person today. And that voice that comes in is the old me. That's not me. It does not belong in this new vessel that I am today. Thank you. Any other thoughts?
I'll share my new beliefs. So my new beliefs are, I inherently know the best decision and firmly commit to that decision. I am co-creating with God, and everything comes together for my good. I am fulfilling my purpose through this decision.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. Those are super solid. I appreciate that. Who else? There's somebody else that wanted to share.
This is Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
So mine is, my limiting belief was that if I choose this, I might miss out on something else. And the other one is kind of like Phil's, what if I don't fulfill if I can't fulfill to follow through, and what if my efforts aren't enough to create what I desire? And so my positive statement is, I choose wisely to receive the results that I want, and I am empowered with firm commitment on my path of choice.
Beautiful. I love that. I love how I love the word empowered and that firm commitment on your path of choice, qualifying that, you're being committed to the things that are important to you, that are critical to you and becoming the person that you know you can be. Thank you. Love that. Any last thoughts before we end our call today?
I'd like to say something. This is Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
For shortcuts, it's something Michael said, mentioned about length of time. Just if something is really long, and if I see it in that perspective, it tends to weaken me. So I need to break things up into smaller, smaller sections, so I can, I live a day at a time. I don't live in the future. So, so I'm thinking that I have to focus in that area, and I have to always think in terms of the present moment. And so doing that, it just says it's up. So some of my positive things, I think you mentioned, to be decisive, to know that there's help always available, in anything that I choose, both human and divine. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And that's super powerful, because I think a lot of times that's why we don't make decisions, is because we think this is forever. It is forever until we have new inspiration. Yesterday my decision was I am moldable matter. Today that is offensive to God and offensive to me, because if I know what what I need to be doing, it would be offensive to God for me to continually be moldable about that, to be, flip-flop back and forth. So in this present moment, this is the thing that I'm making a decision on. And tomorrow in my daily GPS, I might get something else. But there's definitely something in this present moment that I can say from this moment, this is who I am and this is what I'm doing. Thank you. All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that has shared. This has been a really powerful call for me to really add confirmation. That word firm is even in the word confirmation, has added confirmation, more solid commitment to me for the decisions that I'm making today. And super excited for this new year, for this new month, for today, for this present moment, for the decisions that I'm making today. And that's really all that matters right now in this moment. So thank you all for being on the call today, and we'll look forward to tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. I'm super excited for this week because I know every call adds to the next. So I hope every single one of you will plan on being on tomorrow and through the rest of this week to see what else we can learn on this. Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arlene.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, thanks so much for listening, and I encourage you to tune in every day to the Daily Gratitude Call. And the Daily Gratitude Call happens live every weekday morning. I'd love to have you join. So to find out how to join live, go to my website, WileenBenson.com. Thanks for tuning in.